And welcome back. Hey, on May the 18th, Sage will host their Table Bronx lunch event. And joining us with the details, we have Daniel Puerto. Did I say Puerto?
Perfect.
It's like Puerto Rico.
Exactly. That's my headline.
Yeah. And you're doing some wonderful things in our community. Tell us about it.
So SAGE is a national LGBT older adult organization that's providing advocacy and services across the United States, primarily in communities where older LGBT folks reside. And so here in New York City, SAGE is in citywide. We're located in 5 different locations in the Bronx, at the Community Health Center. We are in Harlem, in the Bronx, in Brooklyn, and in Staten Island, and our headquarters is in Midtown.
And you offer a number of services.
Yeah, so we are a service and advocacy organization. Our services range from providing just healthy living and exercise, art programming to our older adults. And we also have another sector of caregiving support for caregivers, care management and case management to older LGBT folks. And so on May 18th, the idea of SAGE comes from a need in the community as LGBT community members suffer different levels of discrimination and isolation as they grow up, when they're reaching high school, and then throughout their lifetime. And so SAGE really provides a community space, a home space for those people who are dealing with grieving, who are still dealing with homophobia or transphobia in their homes, and is building a network, a supportive network within their locations.
And you came up with the name SAGE years ago. SAGE means like older generation, or older folks.
So I'm really bad with acronyms, but we incorporate our services and advocacy for gay adults, gay LGBT adults. Older LGBT adults.
Yeah.
And so on May 18th, we came with SAGE developed this strategy to really have conversations around what does it mean to age. A lot of our community members are just aging. The life expectancy of a transgender community member in 2012 was up to the age of 23. And so when we're thinking about what does it mean to age for an LGBT community member, we're looking to really have intergenerational conversations about how to bridge that age gap, how to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves, that the younger LGBT generation is taking care of the older LGBT population as well, and that we're doing that just by breaking bread.
By breaking bread. On
May 18th, we're inviting the whole nation to take part in SAGE Table. And SAGE Table is an idea, and more than an idea, it's a space for us to be able to really have conversations about what does our community needs as we age, who's going to take care of you when you age, who are you going to look after, and who's going to look after you. And this is happening citywide. It's happening nationwide. And we're really excited to have the support from AARP. We launched a video last week where Sia and all of these actors and actresses are also voicing out for SAGE Table. We had Whoopi Goldberg host a SAGE Table, Kenneth Cole. And so this is a real conversation that is happening in our communities, as we're seeing that, we just had a trans murder of a 50-year-old transgender woman last week. And so our communities are still in danger, and more so our older adult population, that because of all of the overlapping issues, they're isolated.
Is there a misconception or something that the public needs to know about this community?
I think that the public needs to know that older LGBT adults are just like any older adult, that older LGBT adults are dealing with health issues, are dealing with the loss of loved ones, are dealing with isolation. And so when we think about the LGBT population and the LGBT older adult population, we're thinking of a population that is overlapping in so many emotions, and we cannot isolate them or ignore that they exist. And also that they have contributed to our fight for human rights. When we're talking about our pioneers, LGBT older adults, we're talking about people who had stepped on the front step of our civil rights advocacy, where that's a black woman from the Black Panthers movement that then became a lesbian, which we have in our Bronx side, or the gay man who stood up against Stonewall and made sure that me and my friend who's heterosexual could dance publicly in a dance floor without facing harassment or discrimination.
Yeah, yeah. So what's so unique about the program that you have? Because there are others that try to do sort of what you're doing, but they don't quite, from what you're saying, they don't quite match up.
I think that SAGE is unique. I come from an immigrant rights background, and when I joined SAGE, it was about focusing on a specific population that we ignore. And we ignore, I mean, we don't think about them. As a young LGBT person, I see young LGBT men ignoring older men in the bars. We don't want to bridge that gap, and I think that what Sage Table is doing is really making us aware that we need to bridge that.
Where can we go for more information on what you're doing?
SageTable.org.
SageTable.org, all right? Breaking bread nationwide all together on what date?
May 18th.
May 18th. Daniel Puerto, give him a big round of applause, everybody. Sage.